Peace and elevation, family. It's your brother Mike X. Just wanted to drop this quick message. Family, I recently, traveled to a couple of different places in the last, I would say like month, out of my norm. I live in New York City. Pretty much everything that, I'm committed to has been and still is in New York City. And within New York City, you have 5 boroughs. New York City is made up of 5 boroughs. The primary borough is, of course, Manhattan, but you have the Bronx, you have Brooklyn, you have Queens, and Staten Island, and I've talked to you before about what is known as gentrification, the takeover of traditionally black neighborhoods. I've done videos on my YouTube channel where I've been in Harlem, where I've been in Brooklyn. The forces of gentrification are in the Bronx. And when you talk about gentrification and you talk about the takeover of traditionally black neighborhoods, I'm talking about a lot of times the business, the commerce, the real estate, whether it's commercial real estate or even if it's residential, real estate, where black people just find themselves as consumers, and this is how we've been trained. This is how we've been brainwashed, so to speak, to believe that we don't have the ability to be owners, to be controllers in our own neighborhood. So this is why a lot of times you find black people in various stages of, not being fulfilled, not being refined, being on the lower levels of mental, emotional, physical, and even spiritual poverty, because we haven't been able to heal and redeem and regenerate ourselves intellectually, culturally, emotionally, spiritually, due to, the forces of slavery, due to Jim Crow, due to the criminalization, of our people, particularly our men, where we fill up the jails and prisons up towards 70% in America, and every time we give birth to organic, legitimate leadership coming up from amongst us, that leadership is killed, that leadership is character assassinated and even physically assassinated, exiled, imprisoned, anything to keep black people from rising up, because there are forces in America that don't ever want to see black people rise into an ability to stabilize ourselves as individuals, as families, as a collective, so that we can begin to take control over our own neighborhoods. There's a lot of money up for grabs. And don't ever think that when you see businesses in black communities, from other racial, ethnic groups, don't ever think that they're trying to do black people a favor, where they see, oh man, they haven't learned how to organize themselves so that they can open up their own supermarket. So let us do it for them so that they can have something to eat. No, it's not something that's done, to help. It's something that's done to take advantage, and make money off of a people who have been kept from learning how to open up their own supermarkets. Let us provide them with, project developments and other, forms of dwelling, where they can live. They're not just trying to provide you with some shelter that you can use to protect yourself from the elements. No, there's money, tremendous amounts of money that's being made off of you being someone who's a renter, So, in the various liquor stores, that 9 times out of 10, you see someone who appears to be Asian, a lot of times, more often than not, running the liquor stores, man, that are on almost every corner in our neighborhoods. Or the local bodegas, man, where you see what we call them in New York, Arabs. I don't particularly know, Middle Easterners, I don't know. But a lot of times, man, you see more and more, bodegas or the local mini supermarkets, man, on every corner, in a lot of our neighborhoods, and it's not being done, again, out of the kindness of someone's heart. Let me go feed them some food, or let me sell them, this, or sell them that. No. There's a lot of money being made off of our trauma, the disorganization that reigns supreme in so many black neighborhoods, the lack of love for self and each other. There's a lot of money, there's a lot of power, that's being taken advantage of. And a lot of the people who have set themselves up as the shopkeepers in our neighborhoods, they have neighborhoods that they wouldn't dare let you in to do in their neighborhood what they're doing in your neighborhood. They have their own neighborhoods that are run and owned and controlled exclusively for their racial, ethnic, group and progeny that they won't let you into. And that, they use the money that they're making in your neighborhood to help to fuel and pay for, their neighborhoods that are exclusive to them, So I've talked about this to a great degree at other times, so I'm not going to go too far into that. Check out my YouTube channel, Brother Mike X Speaks. Please share this video and check out some of the other videos that I have done over the years and share those videos. Those videos are done because as a black man who is alive today, because other black men and women stood up to give me the opportunity to add on, a message of inspiration and hope that I pray will touch somebody's heart, somebody's mind, so that we will stop living down to the stereotypes of thugism and criminalization, and niggerism, so to speak, Life's a bitch and then you die, There's nothing redeemable about Black America, man. So we put it all on the line. And we don't strive to live lives of uplift, of love, of empathy, of compassion that we can begin to share with each other and with our children, where we can take ownership over our own neighborhoods and make these places beautiful and powerful, and self-sustaining. Where the money that we spend goes into businesses of our own that we have established, where we can begin to get into real estate and open up our own schools and open up our own businesses and our own places of health and well-being, so that we can enjoy the power of our own dollar. And those businesses will have an agreement, between ourselves who are, consuming the products and services of those businesses, and where those businesses run by people who live in the community, other black people, would commit themselves to funneling a percentage of their profits back into the initiatives, mentoring programs, counseling, We need everything. You know, we need everything. A lot of black people, man, they don't know, you know, how to move forward in the best possible way. And a lot of people, man, they're scared. You know, they have taken on the blame for their own chaos and confusion, not knowing the history of how there has been a system of racism, of white supremacy that has caused a state of black inferiority and dependency in black America, you know? And this system it's a wicked, ingenious system, you know, where they have thrown the rock, but they hide their hands. You know, you got hit upside the head with a rock, man, but you don't know where the rock came from, you know? So you take the blame for your own chaos and confusion and lack of love for yourself and others within your community. You take it on as something that you did or something that's natural to you or to us. It is most definitely not natural, you know? There's a system that caused all the havoc, all of the damage, all of the confusion. So anyway, I said that I wasn't going to be on here very long, and I talked about the fact that, you know, I did a little bit of traveling. So I see, and like I said, I've spoken about the forces of gentrification throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City. But recently, I had an opportunity to go out to Newark, New Jersey. And this is like, I don't know how many hundreds of miles away from New York City, Newark, New Jersey is, but it's a like, I think it was about an hour and a half, 2-hour trip. And what did I find when I got to Newark, New Jersey? I found the same repercussions, you know, caused by this system of racism, white supremacy, white skin privilege that has produced the dependency and state of inferiority, or at least chaos and confusion amongst black America in the inner cities. I found the same thing in Newark, New Jersey. You know, I found the liquor stores. I found the local bodegas, you know, or the hookah shop right in the middle. You know, we got every form of tobacco that you could think of, or smoking, you know, paraphernalia that you can think of. You know, I found a local chicken spot, man, with the Arabs, you know, and I'm willing to bet that if I would have stayed there long enough, man, that the domination of the real estate, the buildings, you know, of people, you know, other racial ethnic groups that own the buildings that we live in. I'm more than certain, man, that it's the same exact thing that's going on in New York City, you know? So the only good thing that I can say in regards to what I'm describing is the same thinking or the same system that produced the results that I'm describing in 2 different places, you know? And like I said before, you could probably go to Chicago. You could go to, you know, Atlanta. You could go to other places where black people are living, particularly in the inner cities. And you would find the same situation, you know, the same situation. And I speak about this, man, because it hurts me deeply when I go to places like this and I see the contrast between who's running the businesses, who's, you know, and who owns the real estate. And I see my people, man, down and out, addicted to substances, whether it be alcohol, whether it be heroin or cocaine or whatever. I see them in all states of retardation, physical retardation, where they're living dead, man. Their bodies are decaying as they as they shuffle around, not knowing where to go or what to do. Their minds have dulled. They don't have the power of consciousness. They don't have the power of the knowledge of themselves. It's been kept from them. It pains me deeply. So I didn't mean to get emotional, man, but so I say the same system that was used to create the same environments in different places where black people live, the same solution can be applied to the same problems. And that's the good part about what I'm talking about, what I'm describing that's going on in Black America. If we return to those who came before us, who prescribed a knowledge of ourselves, a love for ourselves, self-discipline, codes of ethics that we begin to hold ourselves up to as black men, we can rise above the inclination, man, to be thugs and criminals and parasites eating the flesh of each other and filling up the prisons, man, across this nation, or filling up the cemeteries. If we begin to learn how to love ourselves again, you know, there are a lot of people, man, who fought and died to try to be the best examples for us. You know, the Malcolms, the Martins, the Huey P. Newtons, Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey. There's a whole lot of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. There are people who are walking amongst us today, the new, you know, the next people in that line of passing on the responsibility of striving to teach and awaken and inspire people. And I would say that I'm one of them, you know, but people that I respect, man, and enjoy listening to, like the Blue and Red Pill, and, you know, other brothers and sisters, man, who are out there, man, striving to use the power of their voice, the power of their consciousness, the perspectives, the visions that they have of uplift for black people, man. We need to continue to do the knowledge, you know? And I'm not saying that everybody has to get out there and commit themselves to standing on the front line. But yo, you should be about the business, man, of learning as much as you can about your rich history, about your divinity as a children of the Most High God. And you should be willing to teach the babies and have conversations based upon a video like this with others, because we can't continue to live the way we've been living. We're passing on cowardice and defeat to our children if we don't stand up, man. You know, so having said that, family, I'm not going to stay on too long. I say to the brothers and the sisters, man, who are of somewhat of an advanced age, you know, because a lot of our people, man, they say that, you know, our people dying so young. They say that if you hit 20 years old, comparatively, you know, you already reached middle age, you know, because the life expectancy in Black America, man, is way down, you know. And if you reach my age, you know, 50, 51, you like an elder now, man. But you know what? There's a prime role and responsibility for the so-called elders of this age. Yeah, we may have seen more yesterdays than we may see tomorrows. We may not be as vibrant and, you know, in our energy as we used to be when we was in our 20s and 30s. But we not dead yet, you know? And we got a lot to offer. And we need to do as much as we can, man, to offer hope, wisdom, experience, inspiration, an alternative lifestyle to what has become the norm. Self-defeat, self-destruction, self-hatred. We need to teach our people and show our people what it looks like to have a knowledge of ourselves, to be able to know better and do better. No matter what low level you may have sunk to in the past in your state of ignorance, now that you know better, you got to fight to do better, So having said that, this is your brother Mike X. I pray that this message inspires you, man, to dig down deep and do better for yourself and for those that you have an opportunity to influence. Peace and elevation.